What did I do wrong? I think we're meeting Christine's new boyfriend. Blame yourself if I don't love you, okay?
Sister Wives star Kody Brown is David Yurman's top customer. I saw a promotional picture of Kody Brown and immediately noticed his flashy necklace. I guessed it must be from David Yurman, and I was right. For a steep $1,675, you can get a lion pendant just like his. I bet Robyn Brown has a matching one. David Yurman's best customer. I don't mean to throw shade at David Yurman, but I have to say that their jewelry is incredibly unattractive. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Reality Nexus X. It's me, Elena here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. However, if high school students were caught running polls on who is born to be hated, or rating young women based on their looks, and publishing the results online, they would rightfully face consequences and their parents would be notified. Do better. This includes you, mods. I found it unsettling when people commented, "I always thought Aspen was the hottest," given she was a minor for a significant portion of the show. It's just creepy. I also think it's odd and unkind to label one of the kids as the hot one when she has multiple sisters. But I've been saying all along that it's inappropriate to use derogatory terms like cunt for Robyn or make jokes about her in demeaning ways. So what do I know? Moreover, Robyn, the polygamy expert. OMG, is there anything about polygamy she isn't an expert on? I'm doing a big rewatch, and she's constantly chiming in with, well, in polygamy, like she's the authority. I've seen families, and on and on. How exactly is she an expert? How does she claim to know so much when, during her childhood, she wasn't part of a big family, didn't live with her stepdad, didn't have other siblings, etc.? How is it possible none of the other wives ever told her to shut up? She never lived the lifestyle. She only saw it from a distance, influenced by her mother, who seemed to be a polygamist only when it was convenient for her stepdad to visit, from a wife Robyn never even interacted with. OMG, she is just insufferable. In my opinion, this was a huge issue for Christine, the polygamy royalty. Christine was the expert. Sobin wanted Christine's place in the family from day one. She wanted to be the stay-at-home mom, have a great relationship with the kids, and be the party house. But she didn't want to put in the time and sacrifice. She just expected it to happen. The most annoying example of her polygamy expertise was during their trip to Missouri. She kept talking about her family roots, but she was referring to her stepdaddy's family. She's absolutely insufferable. On the other hand, hear me out, I can't stand Robyn. I think she's selfish, greedy, and clueless. But I'll give her one thing, she loves her kids. It's a smothering, overpowering kind of love, but she does care. Her love for her children, combined with her background and her general immaturity, fuels a lot of the resource greediness we see from her. Robyn grew up in poverty, as do most women and children in the LDS Church. The only ones who thrive in that organization are the men at the top and their favored wives and children. Everyone else struggles to get by. Any parent would want to ensure their kids are well cared for, have enough to eat, and get occasional treats. But the FLDS structure creates insecurity for most people, except the top tier, leading to a get-all-you-can mentality. When there's anything available, everyone scrambles to grab it, fearing they'll miss out. This even affects the children of other wives. While the idea is that sister wives' children are like your own, this only holds true when there's plenty, and sometimes not even then. The men like this dynamic because it keeps the wives competing rather than working together. Robyn hasn't broken free from this mindset. She grabs as much as she can, be it a house, money, clothes, tacky jewelry, or Kody's attention. Because if she doesn't, someone else will. Even if she doesn't need it, she has to have it. It reflects her hoarder mentality and fear of scarcity. She might even hoard something harmful just so no one else can have it. That said, it's no excuse. She's an adult who hasn't truly lived polygamy in years, so it's her responsibility to recognize and change this behavior. Other women have left polygamy, recognized their dysfunctional behaviors, and worked to change them. Kody encourages her behavior, partly because it reinforces his own inflated sense of importance, and partly because it aligns with his own nasty, greedy personality. Robyn is too immature, selfish, and clueless to see this on her own. TLDR. Polygamy is destructive and corrupts nearly everyone who lives it. My other opinion is that her children are pawns. A mother who truly loves her kids would prioritize their needs. Robyn's needs always come first. She uses her children to meet her own needs, and people mistakenly interpret this as love. Love doesn't force kids to call a man they barely know dad before he even marries their mother. She's not genuinely overprotective. She's a control freak who pretends to be. Early on, she even made negative comments about Brianna, calling her a prima donna and mimicking her crying. She complained about Ari running the house, being up all night, and having to wake up early for school. She was also unkind to Aurora in the wedding episode. Robyn uses material items to buy love and control others. She doesn't care if the other 3 wives and their kids have nothing as long as she and her kids come first. It's really not a good look. She's truly awful. However, the general consensus here is that everyone hates Robyn, but does anyone actually like her? If you do, why? I wouldn't say I hate Robyn, but I really don't like her. Now, if she were my sister wife, I might actually hate her. She monopolized all of Kody's time, affection, and money to the point where the OG kids and other wives suffered. If she were part of my life, I would despise her, but as a viewer, it's more like strong dislike. I really dislike her too, but I actually dislike Kody more. He's the one who brought her into the family, and then allowed her to disrupt the traditions his original family had built over 16+ years. She may have been the catalyst, but Kody was the real problem. He let her do all the dirty work. Before coronavirus, he seemed passively neglectful, almost like it wasn't intentional, probably an act to avoid blame and keep the wives focused on each other instead of him. After coronavirus, he became more actively destructive, helping to burn down the old family dynamic. Personally, I've hated her ever since the dog-kicking incident in season 1 or 2. Additionally, I'm rewatching in prep for season 19 and just had an oh my good god moment, about 20 minutes in when Kody is talking about Janelle and the boys disrespecting him and his rules. He says, if one of my children was to die, I would never forgive the person responsible. Admittedly, he was talking about coronavirus, but I'm sitting here having a holy f***ing moment because one of his children has died, and Kody was likely one of the contributing factors. So does that mean he's going to hold himself accountable? Because it sounds like he's insinuating that someone should be punished. My guess is Kody still blames everyone else rather than himself. It doesn't surprise me at all that Kody or Robyn didn't change after Garrison's death. People like them never change. They're always the victims in every situation, even ones they create. It will always be someone else's fault with those two. Moreover, I hear a lot of people say that Kody and Robyn have no income or can't afford their lifestyle anymore. They're on a pretty big TV show, so am I missing something? I'm confused. It's not that they don't have income, it's that they blow it all on massive houses, expensive utilities, and random art and jewelry. Plus, TLC doesn't pay as much as people assume. They were already in debt before the show started. Instead of using the TLC money to pay off their debts and save for their kids' futures, they just spent even more, which only made their financial situation worse. In financial circles, it's called lifestyle inflation. Every time you get a raise, you upgrade to a bigger house, newer car, or fancy vacation, and you increase your credit card limit. Eventually, the paycheck gets renegotiated or reduced, and you're stuck with massive debt you can't afford. They had bad finances to begin with, and now the paychecks are drying up as the show winds down. I think I read they made about $30,000 an episode, so for around 14 seasons, that's close to $4 million. But with all those mouths to feed, that money goes fast, especially when Kody and Robyn blow most of it on their million-dollar house, fancy art, and other luxuries while refusing to help pay for something like Isabel's surgery. Janelle was the real breadwinner in that family. Kody took all their money and spent it on Robyn, and then he had the nerve to say he was too good for Janelle's apartment and trailer, while Robyn sat in her McMansion, funded by the other wives. On the other hand, the lack of critical thinking around the move to Flagstaff is mind-boggling. It's a perfect example of the just have faith mentality. It's unbelievable how bad they are at moving, especially considering they've done it over 18 times. Kody is an incompetent leader. He does whatever he wants and leaves everyone else to deal with the consequences. Honestly, I blame the women just as much as him. It's surprising that in a first-world country, in the information age, they seem to lack basic common sense. Mary, Janelle, and Christine were all too scared to speak up, especially Janelle when Gabriel didn't want to move. She should have listened to him and not forced the issue. The move was a terrible idea, and it was foolish of them to follow Kody, especially when the houses weren't selling as quickly as he claimed they would. However, I'm curious about everyone's favorite wife. For me, it's changed over the years, but Christine has mostly been my favorite. In the very beginning, Mary was my favorite, though I'm not sure why. After that, it was always Christine, especially in the later seasons when she started standing up for herself more. Last season, it was a close call between Christine and Janelle. To be honest, Christine was my favorite, but when Janelle told Kody to sfoo and then said F you, she jumped way up the list for me. I've liked Janelle since season 1. In real life, I think I'd get along best with Mary. Polygamy just seemed to bring out the worst in her. If she hadn't been raised in that environment, she probably would have split with Kody decades ago due to incompatibility. I only grew to really like Christine in the later seasons, which seems to align with when she lost her religion. Robyn, never. I really liked Christine. I thought Janelle was gorgeous, especially when she smiles. I didn't understand Mary, and I found Robyn annoying. Now, I really like Mary, and I still think Janelle is beautiful. Christine is still fun, but I'm not a fan of her mean streak, and Robyn just seems pitiful. Additionally, Kody's extreme unfairness toward Mary is striking. He would tell Christine and Janelle that if they were good sister wives to Robyn, things with him would improve, though that was clearly just a pretense. He also said if they wanted to work things out with him, they needed to show him respect and be Robyn's BFF, essentially asking them to bend the knee. Mary, however, did exactly that. She stuck around, put up with everything, and tried to gain Kody's favor by being friendly with Robyn and sacrificing her own needs. Despite this, Kody still showed no love or affection for her. It's baffling how Kody or Mary can justify this. She did everything Kody said the other wives needed to do to gain favor, yet it didn't make any difference. Mary married Kody at 19, and he was her first and only love. From the start, she built a family for him. In the first episode, she choked up when she mentioned that if something happened to her, she trusted her sister wives to care for her daughter. She deeply loved this family. To keep Kody happy, she even brought in wife 4. It's understandable why she stayed for so long. Kody's ego, however, led him to treat her unfairly, particularly after the catfish scandal. His ego couldn't handle Mary seeking attention elsewhere. The justification for Kody's treatment often revolves around Mary's infidelity. It's a twisted rationale. If this Sam Cooper persona had been real, it's likely Mary would have left, so in a way, she wasn't entirely faithful. There were recorded phone calls between Mary and Sam Cooper on YouTube that were quite revealing. Mary seemed to play along with the whole divorce and adoption storyline, which I believe was orchestrated by Kody and Robyn. The show made it appear as if it was Mary's idea, but I think she was led to believe it was her own decision. Mary stated on the show that Kody had abandoned her long before the catfishing incident, yet that event is constantly cited as the reason for their issues. It seems that Kody lost interest in Mary because of this Sam Cooper story. Mary was used for the show to make appearances, play Robyn's friend, and continue contributing financially to the family. Her strong religious commitment likely played a role in her reluctance to leave. If Mary does ask for a release from their church, I hope it helps her find clarity and mental peace. Moreover, Mary definitely represents a knife to Kody's pride with the catfishing incident. It struck at his ego and self-image more than anything else, even though his interest in her had waned. The fact that she sought attention from another man was a blow to his sense of self-worth and control. As for Robyn, she seems to be a knife to the entire family. Her presence and influence have caused widespread disruption and conflict, affecting not just Kody, but also the other wives and their relationships with him. In the context of the family dynamics, it's clear that each wife impacts Kody in different ways, with the emotional and psychological wounds varying from one person to another. Robyn and Mary's plan to pass off store-bought caramels as their own during Kody's competition was quite frustrating. It seemed like a lazy move, especially when Christine and Janelle were genuinely putting in the effort. The way Robyn and Mary laughed so hard at their own trick felt excessive and disrespectful, particularly since the other wives were taking the competition seriously. It seemed like they were mocking the whole idea and, by extension, Christine and Janelle's earnest efforts. As for the competition itself, it seemed like a somewhat demeaning test, especially for Mary, who didn't even have a kitchen to work in. The fact that it was set up as a challenge on Christmas added an extra layer of absurdity. I can see how the store-bought caramels might have been Robyn's way of poking fun at Kody's unrealistic expectations. Please share your thoughts in the comment section below. I'd love to hear whether you agree or disagree. If you enjoyed this video, consider liking, subscribing, and hitting the notification bell for future updates. Your feedback is important, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you.